All right, guys, here we go. Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy G. You're watching Keeping This Tech, and we just unboxed the brand new Apple HomePod in white. And this has been delayed for some time, and it's finally here. And this is it. This thing is beautiful. It's actually pretty dope looking. It's pretty heavy. That's true. It does have some heft to it, but it's covered in this mesh. And I'm gonna go over some close-ups in just a bit. But this is what it is. This is what we've been waiting for, and this is supposed to sound really good. And I got to tell you, I've heard it. It sounds amazing. So let's take it out of the box, and we have. Ooh, this is a pretty long cable here. And let's take a look at what else we have inside here. So you're going to have your typical Apple, paperwork. Looks like there's a sticker this time around. So Apple is considering this its own product and not an accessory. That's good to know. And then we also have the instructions, which is typically just a quick start guide to get you going of what you can do with the controls. I believe the top is called a touch surface, and of course, a Siri stuff. And then that's it. And here is your HomePod, guys. It's the top right there. It looks really, really beautiful. That's the bottom. Nice little Apple logo on the back. And you got this threaded power cable. That's going to pick up a lot of dirt. That's for damn sure. But it is nice. And this is it in its glory. Here you go. So with the HomePod, you basically pair it up with your phone, and then you take it from there. So here's what happened when I set it up for the first time.
Hi, I'm Siri. Welcome to HomePod. You can't tell, but I'm waving. To get my attention, say, "Hey Siri, let's try it." Say, "Hey Siri, what can you do?"
Hey Siri, what can you do?
I can do lots of things, like turn on the lights, give you a news update, and tell you about the weather. Now you try. Say, "Hey Siri, play some music."
Hey Siri, play some music.
Okay, here's a personal radio station built just for you, starting with Bob Marley. Remember, anytime you have a question, just say, "Hey Siri."
Okay, and that's pretty much it. I mean, the setup is super simple. If you've ever set up AirPods or the new Apple TVs, it's all similar. Apple is known for their simple setup. You have this nice fabric going all around. You have 7 speakers facing the bottom, and at the top here is your woofer. But also, this top here is called the touch surface, and it's lights. It's not an LCD or anything like that. If you tap it once, it'll play. If you tap it twice, it'll skip to the next track, and holding it down, as you see here, will activate Siri and allow you to put in your commands. You can also reset it or hard reset it from this touch surface as well. The bottom here features this rubber grip to keep it from sliding off of the table. This is not just a speaker. It does have Siri, so it's now part of HomeKit. So if you wanted to control your lights, let's say, you can do that. As you'll see here, I'm controlling my lights. If you wanted to control your doors, there's coffee makers, plugs. There's a whole bunch of smart home devices that you can attach to Siri, and that will be controlled by your HomePod. The argument is that Siri is not as smart as Alexa, and that's absolutely true. But I don't think you're buying this thing because you want Siri to be better. You're buying this thing for the audio quality. And it's the audio quality of the HomePod that launches this thing into orbit. Like there's nothing that I've ever heard in its size that can come close to it as far as audio quality. Apple is powering this thing with their A8 chip, the same chip that was in their iPhone 6, to do computational audio. Basically, their A8 chip is telling the HomePod what to do with the sub, with the 7 tweeters that are in there, and even using the microphones. That's right, all 6 microphones to measure the room and do all sorts of things to give you the sound that comes out of here. It's amazing that all this stuff is happening literally in real time. It took them 6 years to design this thing and to come up with it and to engineer it and to do all the stuff that this HomePod can do. It's really hard for me not to appreciate it, given that I love music. I'm an Apple Music guy. I have iTunes Match. I buy all my music through iTunes regardless. Like they geared this towards customers like myself and you if you're interested in picking one of these things up. But it's not without its flaws. In fact, it has a lot of limitations at launch. And I hope that they'll be able to update this because $349 is a lot to ask for what it can do now, given the fact that it's so limited. Like the big one for me is that there's no family support. It doesn't know that there are multiple people in the house. This is designed to interact and interface with one person, but it's called the HomePod. And that just, I don't get that. Like literally somebody could walk in and say, hey, read me G's text messages. And then there you go. Like that doesn't, you can turn that off, of course, when you're setting it up, but you do lose that functionality of being able to say, hey, set a reminder. Hey, do this. Hey, do that. You can't do that if you have that function off. And that kind of defeats the purpose of having a smart speaker. So that's one thing. Traditionally, if you're buying speakers at this price point, you would be able to attach it or connect it to other things or anything that you would want. But in this case, you could only connect it to AirPlay devices, and that limits you to only the Apple TV and your phone and all that other stuff. So it's I don't know, it's kind of weird to me. It doesn't support Bluetooth, even though it has Bluetooth 5.0. Like it's just like little things like that just, I don't know, it doesn't add up, and if you're going to be spending $349, I don't know, I feel like I would want the whole experience, and I don't think that you're getting that here at launch. There's a good chance that, this is a first generation device, right? Apple is known for doing that. They'll do some software updates and they have another one coming down the line, maybe in a year and a half from now, that's going to be like $100 off. It's going to do way more. Who knows? I mean, Apple does what they do. But ultimately, I got to tell you guys, I don't know if I'm going to keep this yet. I got to spend some time with it and see if it's worth it. Right now, I can tell you I'm having a great time listening to music on it. And full disclosure too, I actually didn't even pay the full price for this thing. I got this for $285. So here's the question of the day. If you could get this for $65 off, would you get it? $285. No worries. Right now, just yours, and you can worry about the software updates later. Let me know in the comments below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe. This is your boy G. You've been watching Keeping This Tech, and I got way more HomePod content coming, so feel free to lock in, hit that notification button. I'll see you on the other side. Peace.